What's going on, guys? It's JSGC here, and we're here for a reaction video. I'm going to be reacting to my Premier League table prediction that I did back in July of 2017 for the forthcoming season. So I'm going to be predicting what happened in the Premier League back then and what's actually happened. So I'm going to pop up the actual Premier League table along with watching the video that I did, and I'll be reacting along with it as well. So pretty straightforward. What's going on, guys? JSGC 171, and it's that time again. We've put out our League 2, League 1 and Championship table prediction. The season's got underway. Some surprising results, some not so surprising results. So we'll see how they get along throughout the season. I apologise to any fans of any clubs or any clubs out there that are watching my videos that don't agree with what I'm saying. Just leave in the comments what you think. It's true. You don't have to be nasty about it. Please don't be nasty about it. I'm not doing it with any malice whatsoever. I'm not being cruel. I'm not being mean. I'm not saying I don't like your club. I'm just saying my honest opinion onto it. You disagree, because I like football, okay? So we'll start with the Premier League. So, in 20th, I've got Huddersfield. Huddersfield fans. 16th. I think they're going to...
So 16th really end up finishing, not 20th. So
I think they're more than capable of competing at a championship level.
Certainly, if they do end up
getting relegated,
I think they'll be difficult to beat this season. We saw them when Man City played during the FA Cup last season. That they managed to hold their own and get a 0-0 draw and get the match back from the John Smith Stadium back to the Etihad Stadium. So I think they'll hold their own, but I think they're going to get relegated. And 19th, I've got Stoke. Again, I'm not being cruel to Stoke fans. It might seem like I am, particularly with my transfer updates.
Bang on.
Premier League a few weeks back. I'm not being cruel. I'm just not impressed with the signings. They're starting to sell some of the players, and they've got all the signs there that they need to really improve. I'm not a real fan of Mark Hughes' management. I think if the Stoke could improve on him and be rid of him, particularly if they get, you know, off to a bad start, I'd be rid of Mark Hughes. I feel like everything relies on what they do in this transfer market for the next coming 3 weeks and what they do in the January transfer market. I think
Mystic
they're a
Jason
decent-sized club. I think they're a solid Premier League club. But if they don't improve on everything, then they've got all the signs there that they're not going to do particularly well this season. And the same for Swansea, who I've got in 18th. Again, I'm not particularly impressed with who they're bringing in. They're contemplating, selling Gylfi Sigurdsson for 50 million. If they pocket that 50 million pound, I think
Mystic Jason.
Disgrace. They need to invest that 50 million pound into the squad.
Bang on again.
Establish themselves as a comfortable mid-table Premier League side, and then build from there. 17th, I've got Burnley. I think Burnley, again, are going to struggle this season. Second season syndrome. I don't really like using that term. But Burnley, very solid defensively. I think they've got enough about their defence.
I'm miles away. I apologise there for Burnley, where they finished in Europe. Shows you what an amazing job that Son Dyche has actually done.
Maybe stay up. They're going to miss Michael Keane. But we'll simply, I cannot say until the Premier League gets going, really, that I can really give a good... analysis of where teams are at and what they're going to be doing, but I predict that Burnley will stay up, and I'm sure, in fact, that any club that's predicted that wants to survive in the Premier League may well, anyone that stays in 17th will be more than happy 17th and higher. In 16th, I've got Crystal Palace.
Struggling.
I think Crystal Palace
they've done really well under Roy Hodgson, so I was a little bit out with that one as well.
Stay up. So I think they're going to stay up. 15th, I've got Bournemouth. I like Eddie Howe. I think he plays good football. And Bournemouth really holding their own in the Premier League. I think they'll do it again this season.
Not too far off with that one.
15th, it's a little bit low for where they might want to be, but for the size and stature of the club, I think that's fantastic for them. So 15th for them. In 14th, I've got Watford. I think Watford's a dark horse to be relegated if they don't really improve on their side. They go through managers like anybody's business.
Three.
Over the last year
got
or so.
3 right.
So they need some stability, otherwise they may well go down. I'm going for them to turn the fortunes round and finish 14th. No particular reason why, I'm just putting them there. I mean, Watford could easily be finishing 18th and I can move all the clubs up one, really. But I'll go for 14th for Watford. Why not? 13th, I've got Brighton. I like Brighton. I think Brighton's got a good squad there.
I'm not too far off with Brighton's either.
He's doing fantastic. Last season, he'll do in the Premier League this season. I think they'll take the momentum into the Premier League, and I'm anticipating that they really might have a shock or two about them. It's not easy going down to the South Coast. Teams struggle going down to Bournemouth and Southampton, and Brighton now getting added to that list. And they've obviously got a nice size stadium, which are probably going to sell out.
Brighton stay up again next season.
That makes for an anticipated difficult match for all Premier League clubs like Burnley, and I don't think Burnley's going to go down. I think Brighton's going to use their momentum. I don't think they're going to go down. In 12th, I've got West Ham. I think West Ham could do better, really. I think they've signed some good...
I was really close on that, wasn't I? Really close.
Players, sold them good players and brought in some mediocre players. Be interested to see how Arnautovic does at West Ham. I think he's a decent signing, but I still think that the Snake, Dimitri Payet, is a lot better player than him. I think he's a lot better than Snodgrass. So they've gone from having good players to not having such good players to having, like, okay players. Mid-table, 12th. 11th, I've got West Brom. I think West Brom do what West Brom do, which is stay up.
That was miles out. The finished bottom. Ooh.
Stay up comfortably.
See what I say about them.
Then stop caring once they've stayed up, so which sees them in mid-table. And 10th, I got Leicester. Now, I really don't know where Leicester's going to end up. They could be down there, they could be up there, they could be in mid-table.
You see, I've got Newcastle and Leicester in the wrong... that's really annoying. I could have had 5 if I'd got them right.
Play the right style of football for them to certainly be troubling the top 6 sides if they want to. But we all know that when they're winning the Premier League is an incredibly fantastic achievement. That to ask for them to do that again is just, you know, a lot of pressure to put onto the side. But they've still managed to keep hold of a lot of them players. But they've missed Kante, obviously, last season. But they still had a decent season for what Leicester are actually wanted, and Leicester will be more than happy, I'm sure, the board to finish 17th and stay up. So 10th for them, mid-table, solid season. 9th, I've got Newcastle.
Not far away.
No particular reason why. I just think that Newcastle did manage to pick up kind of some momentum for the Championship last season. They've obviously not had as good a season as what they was hoping in the Championship, but they still got promoted, so job done there. I think Rafa Benitez is an awesome manager, and I'm tipping Rafa Benitez to really turn Newcastle around, sorry, not down, and send them sailing up the league. So I'm putting them in 9th, and in 8th I've got Southampton.
Miles away.
And I think Southampton, in my opinion, bar the top 6, and obviously Everton, who are fantastic side, making some great signings and really trying to push the top 6 all the way. I think Southampton are like, you got the top 6 here, then you have Everton, who are trying to break there, and then just below them you got Southampton trying to break there. Then you have like a gap then in quality, and I think Southampton make up an 8th, so I'm going for them in 8th. Everton, I've already said, in 7th. I think the additions to players like.
The only thing that's cost Everton is their slow start, and I'm not sure Sam Allardyce has the style of football to be able to push Everton all that way. Hence Everton, I got rid of him at the end of this season. He's done the job to keep them up with a poor start, but they're looking to cement themselves as that Europa League side. Everton, that side that category that I was just explaining in the video, basically.
Like Jordan Pickford, I think the signings that they've made are absolutely fantastic. Spent over the odds, perhaps you could suggest. However, they've needed to make them signings. They're good players. And then Everton do like making players who have not been so good into good players. They just need to properly replace Lukaku. So it'll be interesting to see over the next coming weeks if they end up strengthening in the areas, particularly if Ross Barkley leaves as well. In 6th, I've got Tottenham. I think they're going to struggle at Wembley.
They've done better at Wembley, in my honest opinion, than what I actually thought that they did. I think Pochettino's done a very good job at Tottenham. Still, they'll be looking for that trophy, obviously, that has still evaded them.
Seen them struggle in the Champions League. I think they're going to struggle this season. They've not got White Hart Lane there. They're going to have, in my opinion, a lot of tourist fans there, so the atmosphere won't be as hostile as what it is at White Hart Lane. The pitch is big, not narrow. They want to play counter-attacking, pressing football. We saw how Tottenham in pre-season struggled. You can't go anything in pre-season, but they struggled against Man City trying to do the press on such a big pitch. They're going to play it at Wembley. They struggled to do their press because the pitch is so big, they'll get tired. So if Tottenham don't score early on and put the pressure on, I think teams will settle into the game, particularly the teams at the top, they'll struggle against. And you need the results at the top to be finishing, obviously, in the high position.
Not too far away with Arsenal, see what I say.
Really does depend on if Alexis Sanchez ends up staying, which you cannot guarantee in the next 3 weeks. If Alexis Sanchez stays, I think they'll break the top 4. I think they'll finish 3rd or 4th. If he leaves, then
in January,
5th, particularly if they don't end up signing Lamar of Monaco, who's been linked with teams around Europe like Monaco and that, with Barcelona and that. In 4th, I've got Liverpool.
Spot on there.
Now, Liverpool's made a solid addition in Salah. They've not really improved in defence, so we'll see if they've learnt the lessons or not. I'm going for them to finish 4th again, like they did last season. I think they're stabilising themselves. I think it'll be good for Liverpool if they can do well in the Champions League this season coming up. And hopefully, I'm sure Liverpool fans, hopefully anyway, will be wanting them to do well. I think 4th's actually a good season. I think if minimum aim for all these top,
it's really weird,
sides
isn't
in the top 6,
really weird.
Place. So if you get 4th, you've kind of done your job at least. In 3rd, I've got Manchester United. Now, with Man United, I feel like they're making a sideways steps with their signings. Please don't feel like that's a criticism of Man United. I think you've replaced Ibrahimovic well with Lukaku. You spent a lot of money on Lukaku. I'm asking myself, is Lukaku a huge improvement on Ibrahimovic? Is Lukaku a big improvement? In my opinion, not really. He's better than him, but not hugely better than him. I don't think he's going to really improve Manchester United that much. I feel like they're strengthening areas where they could do with... Well, don't really need much strengthening, really. They could do with...
January, they signed Sanchez as well, and they didn't really need a winger either. They carried on doing that. They're just like... I feel like Man United make signings because these players are available, or they're trying to take them from another side rather than trying to have some kind of plan in place. And I think that's what's holding Manchester United back. It's what's holding them from competing. And I've said it in this video. I've predicted it to come, and it's happened. Obviously, I've not got the table the right way round, but it's happened.
In strengthening in other areas, such as what's going to happen if players like Antonio Valencia get injured and stuff like that, who I will add...
Fortunately for them, I don't think he has.
Actually a full-blown right-back. Done well for Man United, but he's not a right-back. Areas of weakness that I'm sure teams will exploit. I think one of the areas of strength that they've strengthened really well is centre-back, but they still seem to lack them numbers when Phil Jones is still getting towards the side.
Phil Jones is still getting... he's in the England side.
Problems. Second, I've got Man City. I think Man City have strengthened in the right area.
You see, I didn't want to be cocky or... I think Man City are going to win it and Man City are going to do that. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to jinx it. And I thought, second place, the trophies, progress. We'll look for the Premier League. A successful Champions League is probably what I was thinking.
Spent a lot of money on the defence, and it's been much needed. To go from slow players like Zabaleta and Sanya to go through to Danilo and Kyle Walker is a huge improvement. They spent a lot of money, so they've improved in the right areas. I think Man City just lack that little bit of quality in one or two areas to really, you know, finish first. I think they lack a number out wide. I think Sane, Sterling, Aguero, Jesus are really good players, and that sounds like it should be enough quality. I think they just lack that one number of a player that can cut inside and use a lot of skill to really, you know, win a game for Man City. Someone like Alexis Sanchez filling that void would really, really set them up there, and that would see them really challenge for first. And I also feel like a lot of the season relies on Vincent Kompany. Again, we've been saying this for the last 5 years.
Corrected that in January, obviously, and Laporte's done very well. So, you know, I think that's helped Man City with that little bit of a push, particularly with John Stones not finding his legs after getting off to a blistering start too. But obviously, I'm on about here Kompany and Otamendi partnership, and Stones had a fantastic first half, and Laporte's had a fantastic second half.
Again, they've not signed centre backs, so we've got. I've got that Garland's still there, who's not been sold. We've still got Denayer that's not been sold. It's still there. Are they going to be using them? I don't know. But because they're still there, they've not really got decent cover for Vincent Kompany. So if he gets injured and ends up getting injured for any serious amount of time, I think Man City are going to struggle in defence, because that obviously is their area of weakness. They like to press and play a high line, so you need your centre-backs to be switched on at all times. So it's a big season for players like Otamendi and John Stones. They really need to show their intelligence here, and it's a big season for players like Yaya and Fernandinho, whose legs,
and they both have
seem to be declining season after season.
Not Mendy.
So if they, you know, is that areas that Man City can maybe improve on in January or in the next 3 weeks?
Fernandinho's had a fantastic season.
And first, I've got Chelsea, because I think Chelsea's still got the best squad.
Just wrong. It's not the best squad.
Shield to Arsenal, but I still think Chelsea, if they can keep hold of the players like Hazard, then they're going to win the Premier League again this season. I think Antonio Conte has everything nailed on. They're looking to try and sign Sandro, strengthen their defence, and if you've got an organised defence, then you're always at a plus in the Premier League. But
they didn't sign Sandro.
Any of them 6 sides, really, in the top 6 can win the Premier League next season, and in my opinion, the team that exits Europe early on stands the best chance of winning. So perhaps Liverpool, who are going to be seeded lower.
Wrong again. Pep proving so much stuff wrong. It shows just how impressive it is. Not only that he's gone and competed in competitions, he was on the quadruple in February still. Not only has he proved that, he's proved you can also take it to that next level and hit 100 points, which obviously I didn't think was going to be done this season. So, well, fantastic. That's why Pep is manager of the season, by the way.
Top 1 or 2, so they're going to be find themselves in probably a difficult group if the draw doesn't go their way.
I think you get the gist of the video. I think Liverpool stand a good chance of winning the Premier League next season, though. I think they've got a chance to bridge that gap with the right signings. I think that Man City are probably going to, because they're so far ahead, teams are going to have to play a big catch-up, and doing that catch-up is going to be so difficult. I wouldn't look past Man City winning the Premier League again next season, but the Premier League's extremely unpredictable, in my opinion. But there we go. That's been the video. It's been JSGC. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to slap a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. We're aiming for 500 subscribers. Hopefully we can hit that very soon. My social media, that's in the description below. And also, you can go check out my brother's partner channel and my second channel doing gaming, JSGC Gaming and Mixed. I'll leave the links to them at the end of the video. Yeah, something new. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you want more new videos, then let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I found this video extremely informative and entertaining. Mystic Jason at times. So, there we go. I'll see you all again tomorrow for daily football contented videos. I'll see you then. So, it's been JSGC. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace. Ciao for now.